Just wanted to come in, your commissioner checking in. Gary the chemist, manager of the ayahuasca chemists. Another fantastic performance. Fantastic. Top performer. Week 1. Top performer. Week 3. I got the most points by 50. And I got the most points against. It's comeback season, baby. It's comeback season. We out here.
Ayahuasca comes in number 1. Someone try to stop me.
You can't go and put your team top 3 every fucking time you win a game.
Number 1, your number 1 power-ranked motherfucking team, and this motherfucking bitch is Gary the chemist. We fucking coming. We coming. Cooper motherfucking Cup, baby. He's back.
What the hawk is cooking?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Week 4 of the CHM Foosball Fantasy Football League. It's Gary the chemist here, your commissioner, manager of the ayahuasca chemist, the greatest around. And we're here today with another week of data to discuss the power rankings, the week recap, and you know what, ladies and gentlemen, we have our first skull fucks of the season. So why don't we just get to it?
Week recap.
Alrighty. So as y'all know, a skull fuck. What is a skull fuck? Okay. A skull fuck with the tiers that you guys are noticing right up there. You got the regular skull fuck. You win by 50 points. That gets you a red skull. Okay. Absolute skull fuck. That's going to get you a blue skull. And then the ultimate prize. The ultra skull fuck. A golden skull. Golden skull. My Zelda fans, they know what that's about, okay? So with that said, we have 2, not just 1, but 2 skull fucks of the week. So first and foremost, cop off my hawk, Dr. Bezzy.
Ultra Skull Fuck.
Now, when he put himself on Skullfuck Watch that Sunday afternoon, I thought he was being a little bit presumptuous, But with that said, Monday Night Football, Josh Allen does what Josh Allen does. There's a reason why I took him that early. Josh Allen, 30. Count them, 30 points. Hooking up with my boy Khalil Shakir for another 19 points out of him. But yes, the biggest star of the show on the ayahuasca chemist was not only Josh Allen, but Kyron Williams, 3 touchdowns, 32 points. Cop off my hawk, put on a show in himself. Okay. Late that evening, he had his high scorer of the week, Terry McLaurin. Okay. Terry McLaurin put up, why is it not showing? There it is, 20 points. 20 points. The man, top 10 contested catcher. Jaden Daniels looked like he learned how to throw a football. But there you go. Ultra skull fuck. And then we also have one more, so I can't let him get away with it. Okay. The Mighty Wombats took on F the Median, formerly known as Slide Rid. And Mighty Wombats, this one's for you.
Ultra Skull Fuck.
Yeah, Slide Rid, F the Median, led by Dak Prescott in a late surge in that game to put up 29 points. 2 great performances from Zach Charbonnet, Aaron Jones, 25 points a pop. And then the Mighty Wombats, not really much to get excited about there. He did have Chuba Hubbard, though I believe, did he end up starting Chuba Hubbard? No, Chuba Hubbard is on his bench. Okay, a guy who I was kind of dogging. That said, poor performances all around. I believe his high scorer might have been Najee Harris, so really not much to get excited about there. Next, we got Mr. Bye Week going up against the Cincinnati Lights. A win by about 30 points. No skull fuck right there, but bye week led by his man, Lamar Jackson, Devin Singletary, who did go ahead and slide at the 1 yard line would have added a couple of points, but not enough to win the game. Cincinnati Lights, a man who's been number 1 in our power rankings. He was led by the Malik Neighbors, the rookie himself, putting up a solid showing. Showing the young bucks are out here to play football. Malik Neighbors, 28 points. Next, we got Cheating Always Works. He had a solid lead heading out of Thursday after he went ahead and put up his Jets defense, which had 16 points, going up against, I forgot who, what's his name had playing. That said, stat corrections, they came fighting. Jaden Daniels on Monday night. Justin Jefferson with 20 points. But again, Jaden Daniels, 28 points. Learned how to throw a football. 21 for 23, 254, 2 touchdowns, 12 carries, 39 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Jaden Daniels, ladies and gentlemen, my man is a quarterback. Cheating Always Works was led by Jonathan Taylor, taking down the Bears, 26 points. He's been running the ball well. Next, we're going to discuss the Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby going up against Go Pack Go, taking the L. But the Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby was went ahead and led by Derrick Henry, a man who I have hated on, but 30 points. 30 points. Very solid showing. Very solid showing. But you know what? Very game script dependent. But you know, I got to give him what he's due. And then 30 points by Jamar Chase to try to get him in contention here. Only put him at 102 points, but 144 for Go Pack Go, led by Aaron Rodgers coming out of Thursday night, 21 points. Then Saquon Barkley, the man who's leading the NFL in carries, I believe, at 33 points, was his main producer. Another great showing. And then when Jake Ferguson, Turd Ferguson, can get you 15 points, you're doing pretty good. And then last but not least, the man that many have said I have doubted, took a 10-point win, only 105 points. I don't even think that was enough to get him the median, but he took a 10-point lead. This is one of my locks of the week, but the kneecap collector disappointed us. Joe Burrow almost brought the kneecap collector back. Joe Burrow with 25 points on Monday Night Football, and then Dirty Burt couldn't rely on Kamara and H.A. to put up like a combined 50 anymore, but Amon-Ra St. Brown putting up 20 points to put him well within striking distance, and of course he took the win, but no median win for him. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the week recap. Let's go ahead and look at the waiver wire. The waiver wire.
Waiver Wire.
There you go. Waiver wire led by my biggest bid, Rome Odunze, the man who has ran more routes than any other wide receiver in the NFL this past week. Yes, you heard me. Rome Odunze. The Bears cannot run the football. I wanted to make sure I got my hands on him. Allen. Man, he looked good. And I would say Emmanuel Wilson, or I think he had a different name other than Emmanuel. Either way, Wilson coming out of Green Bay. He looked real good. Splitting touches almost with Josh Jacobs. Something to keep an eye on. There you go, right down the board. People keep trying to chase tight end. There's Cole Kmet, a pickup right there. Alexander Madison, the Vikings defense, Tolbert. A lot of people are trying to find things to make themselves work here, but we'll see. There was also a pickup of Rashawn Johnson. I don't know if it's on there because this only happened 45 minutes ago by the great Gatsby. I thought that was a very solid pick. And then Sam Darnold by Dr. Bazzi. Sam Darnold's been it's been a pleasant surprise. Probably wants a little bit to hold him over while he deals with the shambles, the disaster that is Anthony Richardson. A lot of potential in Anthony Richardson. A lot of potential. Hasn't come to fruition yet. Next.
Power Rankings.
The biggest shakeups of the week, of the season so far, have been we're starting to find things out. Okay. Some people, a lot of us were concerned that some of these people were frauds. Some of these people were overvalued. And some people want to feel like they're not getting recognized. So why don't we just jump to the power rankings? Let's just get started.
Number 12.
Number 12. The mighty Wombats. What a drop. I believe I had this man first in my preseason power rankings, but that CMC injury, my man CMC had to fly to Germany to figure out what was going on with his Achilles. Very concerning coming out of there. Brandon Ayuk, you would think he'd take advantage with all of the guys down. They got Debo down, CMC, Kittle. But you know what? Looks like Juwan Jennings was one to take advantage. Brandon Ayuk, man, He wanted that money, and he ain't done shit yet. He just lost Adam Thielen to the IR. What an absolute fall from grace. Chuba Hubbard with a fantastic performance, but Jonathan Brooks is right there. Okay, this was probably it for Chuba Hubbard, but we'll see going forward. Week 1, he was splitting touches with Miles Sanders, but going forward, Jonathan Brooks gets into the pictures. Even Miles Sanders scored a touchdown. Miles Sanders, ladies and gentlemen, it is 2024. If you're letting Miles Sanders score a touchdown in 2024, something's wrong with that backfield. Okay, so number 12, the Mighty Wombats. Down 2 points. Next.
Number 11.
Also down 2 points. Missed the bye week. Okay, coming off a loss. Missed their bye week. What do we really have to get excited about bye week? You know, after losing Pacheco, he's been relying on, look, J.K. Dobbins. I still like J.K. Dobbins, but at the same time, like, they just lost both of their tackles and Justin Herbert's injury. Are people going to start stacking the box? Now, I know that, Jim Harbaugh, my former coach at Michigan, he went ahead and struggled to go ahead. I mean, he's not struggling. He wants to run the football, so that's what J.K. Dobbins. But he's still splitting with Gus Edwards. We'll see how that goes right there. And then Singletary actually looked pretty good. He went ahead and slid at the 1 yard line. He was due for a bigger game than that ended up showing. CeeDee Lamb is the guy in Dallas, but what does that mean when they can't run the football? People just bracketing CD. They can't run the football. What's going to end up happening? Mike Evans will continue to throw the ball. Mike Evans will have his good games. And then one thing that I was just kind of baffled by was the absolute goose egg put up by Mark Andrews. I don't know. We'll see from there. But my other notes on Mr. Bye Week was really I wanted to talk about the running backs. And then just to say there's not really much else to get excited about. He still has Zamir White on his roster. You know how I feel about Zamir White. And then, Pacheco's going to be gone for a while. So there you go. Number 11, Mr. Bye Week. Down 2 spots. Next.
Number 10.
The Great Gatsby. So, The Great Gatsby. What are we looking at here? Was I wrong about Derrick Henry? It's going to be too early to tell. Okay, what a performance by the old man himself. But the Great Gatsby sitting there at 0-6. Derrick Henry is a game script dependent running back if I've ever seen one. Now, I told y'all last week Jamar Chase was going to have a big game. He had a monster game. That said, I also said Brock Bowers and Jackson Smith-Njigba were going to have big games. Not big games out of them, but the tight end has been an absolute hellhole. Brock Bowers might seem like he gets enough targets, enough touches for him to be probably the guy coming out of the tight end market as like a steal in the draft. Jalen Waddle, oh my God, as long as Skylar Thompson's throwing over there, I'd be very, very, very concerned for any Miami wide receiver, which I'm surprised to say that about a man like named Tyreek Hill as well. That said, we'll get to there. But yeah, Jalen Waddle, I'm concerned. Jalen Hurts has looked like dog shit. Ricky Pearsall, he's not going to do anything, man. There's too many guys in the 49ers. Now you got Juwan Jennings. Not something to get excited about, okay? I like the Rashawn Johnson pick. He's up to a 35% snap share. DeAndre Swift looks absolutely terrible. So there you go. Number 10, down 2 spots. The Great Gatsby. Next.
Number 9.
All right, up 3 spots, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Gideon. Cheating always works. What are we looking at with Mr. Gideon? Up 3 spots. There's got to be something I like, right? Look, Jonathan Taylor still looks like Jonathan Taylor. Okay, he looks good. And I know Joe Mixon is week to week with that injury, but I love Joe Mixon. So there's his 1-2 running backs. Tony Pollard, I expect Tajay Spears to get more touches, but I also like Pollard. Now, he throws a guy out like Diggs, who has been leading that team in targets, which I was kind of surprised to see. And he's been very active on the waiver wire. Ace Sevias, the Bengals wide receiver, if I pronounced that correctly, as well as Jalen Naylor. Another guy's been producing. He's waiting for Puka Nacua to come back. Evan Ingram, Rashid Shaheed. Like a lot of these guys who are like, okay, big games here and there, but nothing consistent enough. And y'all know how I feel about Rashid Shaheed. It's just, I don't know if I could trust him in my lineup. But, I'm sitting here pretty. But with his roster, I mean, to be honest, the other guys just kind of got lined up, work out well. Dallas Goedert, I think that's going to end up working out well because Bro, Devontae Smith, man, that was a bad concussion. That was bad. Did that guy spit on him? I have no idea. Why don't we get to the next one? But Gideon, number 9, up 3 spots. All right.
Number 8.
All right, after the median, you could see it right there. He's got the golden skull around his name. That's that one skull fuck that he's got. Throughout the season, we'll be adding the appropriately colored skulls next to your name if you do end up getting a skull fuck. Okay. Gold for an ultra, blue is absolute, and then red for the regular skull fucks. But that'll just keep a nice tally of who's been putting on performances. Okay. So with that said, let's start the counter. So slide red up 3 spots. After median up 3 spots. Now, what do I like about his team? Aaron Jones continues to look good, but Aaron Jones is a little bit older. Okay. Josh Jacobs, I didn't feel good about Josh Jacobs, and I'm starting to see where the holes are. Okay. His backup Wilson got as much touches, really, as he did, and he looked good doing it. Josh Jacobs was much more inefficient. So I'm wondering if they're going to start spreading the ball around. I don't think that he's going to get the touches that you were expecting heading into the season. Okay. That said, Brees Hall, I believe he's second in the league in carries. A great addition. Brees Hall's a stud. DJ Moore, I love DJ Moore. I feel like he's going to right the ship. We're going to have to see, And then on his bench, he's just waiting for guys like Debo to come up. Zach Charbonnet can do well when, K9 goes down. And then Allen, if Brees were to go down, he looks good. Big man with the football. Big man. He looks big. That said, I like your team. I think it's getting better. But number 8 for you, up 3 spots, slide red, F the median. Next.
Number 7.
The biggest faller of the draft, or of the power rankings. The knee cap collector, John Anderson. So, this is a guy I had really up there, top 3 for most of the season, but he's dropped 5 spots. So what's going on with him that I'm really concerned about? Those wide receivers that I absolutely loved, starting to have cracks in the armor. Without Tua, Tyreek last week, I expected him to do better, but you know what? I was wrong. I'll sit here. I'll tell you it because I'm a man. I was wrong. Okay, Tyreek. He needs someone else other than Skylar Thompson at quarterback. Maybe they should put in Huntley. I don't know. They should just do something differently. That said, Devontae Smith got absolutely rocked and spit on. I don't know why he got spit on, man. Them Saints, Bountygate. Think about it. And then J-Mo with a poor showing. I mean, Drake London had that touchdown to save him near the end there. Or was that last week? Either way, Drake London with a solid showing. But the core of his team, those strong receivers and pass catchers, including Laporta, not looking too well. And then at running back, bro, DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift is terrible. He is really bad. 40% stuff rate of at least a yard or less on his carries. He's already starting to concede some carries to Rashawn Johnson, who's upping his snap count to like 35%. Not good. James Conner's coming off a game where he had to play the Lions, one of the toughest run defenses in the NFL. Conner, I still feel good about going forward. But DeAndre Swift, man, you're looking at holes. And you're looking at injuries. There's a lot of stuff that's been going around that's kind of really put your team in a bad spot there. But there you go. Down 5 spots. Our biggest faller of the week, the kneecap collector, John Anderson. All right, let's go to the next.
Number 6.
Staying put. Cop off my hawk. Okay, so cop off my hawk. Here's the thing. I've been making jokes about his wide receivers, but he's got a solid group. Not many of us can compete with the foursome that he has there, with Garrett Wilson, Godwin, Terry McLaurin, and then he benched him, but Michael Pittman. On a talent basis, those are very talented wide receivers. And then you throw in Hopkins, very talented group of guys. The problem is, I think the situations they've all been put in has really kind of hurt them. Now, with a guy like Scary Terry, he's one of the top 10 contested catchers in the NFL. Last year he was ranked within the top 10. So for him to get a guy who can actually throw the ball in a remote area that he can actually catch it, I think that, maybe he'll end up on the upright or on the up and up. we'll have to wait and see. Michael Pittman is kind of like in a waistline there. Anthony Richards can't throw the football. With that said, Anthony Richards is quarterback. Man, Anthony Richards, I think he's benchable. You picked up Sam Darnold. I'd consider starting. I would start Sam Darnold without a doubt over Anthony Richardson. ETN, I'm still skeptical. Tank Bigsby coming off a shoulder injury. I do think that when Tank Bigsby gets going, he's going to end up kind of coming up. But Brian Robinson still looks like he can tote the rock. Is this usage going to continue to stay up? Who knows in the passing game? Who knows? But overall, still within the top 6. I like what he's got at wide receiver overall, but we'll have to wait and see if their situations start to improve. Next.
Number 5.
All right, up 2 spots. The man who has stayed at number 7 for most of the season. Okay, start the timer. Mr. Go Pack Go. Mr. No Pack No. Okay, so what do we like about his team? I mean, same thing I've said every week. The running backs. Saquon Barkley leads the league in touches or carries amongst running backs. He does not look like he's lost a step whatsoever. So because of that, he's still probably going to finish off as the number 1, 2 running back on the season. That's always going to be very helpful. He's been scoring touchdowns. They've been using him. Jalen Hurts looks like dog shit. There's a lot of wide receivers. A lot of their pass catchers are down. I think Saquon's going to be the one to benefit from that. Him and Goddard. That said, Gibbs continues to produce. Montgomery really eating in those touches. Who knows going forward? Who knows Montgomery and Gibbs? By the way, I think they're both produced. Zay Flowers still looks good. Jake Ferguson looks like he's getting those touches now because or targets because there's nobody else to catch the ball over there, and they cannot run the football. Not run the football. DK Metcalf still a solid wide receiver, and y'all know how I feel about Xavier Worthy. So not a guy I trust at all. Despite the Hollywood Brown injury, I do not trust Xavier Worthy. I would stay away, my friend. That said, bench is looking a little skeptical. Aaron Rodgers played well. Jordan Love's coming back. We'll have to wait and see. That said, number 5, nothing to feel too bad about, okay? You should feel happy. Go Pack Go. Pack No. Next.
Number 4.
Number 4. Oh, that's wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, that's wrong. Stat Corrections is actually number 3. Number 4 is going to be Dirty Burt up 1 spot. That is wrong. So Dirty Burt up 1 spot. So everyone keeps telling me you're hating on Dirty Burt. You're hating on the man. And you know what? They're not wrong. They're not. But that said, I'll stand by what I said. Jared Goff, Caleb Williams. I don't know if there's anybody to get excited about. And then start the timer here. But Achan without Tua at quarterback is kind of looking a little like Mostert's going to be coming back. They're going to try to get everybody else involved here. There's a lot of touches to go around in an offense. It's not going to have a lot of touches to work with without Tua. Kamara still looks like the real deal, though. You know what? Kamara, despite the poor performance on that New Orleans Saints offense, Kamara still got his touches. So because of that, him, Amon-Ra, Kupp, those guys are going to keep you going. Jordan Mason for the next handful of weeks here until they figure out what's really going on with CMC, Christian McCaffrey. And then, I know that you're just kind of hoping to keep chugging along until you can bring back the guys Nick Chubb, Cooper Kupp. The fact that you've started off so well with these injuries sitting on your bench, I think it's going to bode very well for you. I think that the Dirty Burt up 1 spot today, I think he's actually kind of set up pretty nice going forward, but I'm still kind of skeptical about his depth. Okay. Alrighty. So why don't we go next? And you guys already know what it is because there's been an issue. All right.
Number 3.
Oh, see, there you go. Stat corrections on both spots. Number 4 was Dirty Burt. Stat corrections staying put, man. The back-to-back champion stat corrections. Sitting at number 3. If you were to ask me, and I were to be honest with you, I would tell you that. Oh wait, whoops. All right, I have the wrong roster up. Stat corrections. Here we go. Jaden Daniels, man, he looked good. He looked really, really good. What I love about your team is the depth. to be honest. We're talking about James Cook, who's been running the football very well. We got Mostert coming back, Bucky Irvin, 2 guys, Jonathan Brooks. You're definitely going to be able to pick 2 out of those 3 that you're going to be startable. And then we look at your wide receivers. JJ, stud. JJ is the
Dog.
Okay. And so then we're looking at him, Marvin Harrison.
Dog.
Both of which just absolute studs. K9 when he comes back from injury. Keenan Allen, it's going to be hard to say exactly what this offense ends up working out to. And I know you got Quincy Johnson coming off a good week. But again, it's hard to tell with that team. They don't throw too much to get too excited about. That said, I love your depth. That's why I got you in the top 3. Stat corrections, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, making another push for another championship. Okay. Next.
Number 2.
They kept asking me would I do it. They kept asking me, are you going to do it? Are you going to put yourself number 1? And you know why they ask, right? It's because they know I'm number 1. That said, I still like what the Cincinnati Lights got going on. I'm still being a little pessimistic about this A.J. Brown injury. But I got a roster, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1 in points. Number 1 in points against 2, but number 1 in points by a 50-point margin. Now, Josh Allen, the stallion himself. Whoa, another 30-pointer to kind of really make me pull across and get that skull fuck, that ultra skull fuck. And then you can see my little skull right there. You enjoy that guy. Look at that guy. Look at him. All right. But that said, Kyron Williams, I was concerned about Blake Corum. Didn't need to be. Kyron Williams with 3 touchdowns. Montgomery. Bro, Montgomery, is there a point of emphasis that, Montgomery might be the guy to own in that backfield? Montgomery, the Lions win when Montgomery gets the ball. Rashee Rice, honestly, might be a 1st or 2nd round wide receiver if the draft happened today. We're waiting on our 1st round pick. This is number 1 in points without our 1st round pick, ladies and gentlemen. And then Deontay Johnson. Thank God they got rid of Bryce Young. Holy shit, was he bad. The connection with Khalil Shakir is also great. What am I concerned about right now? I'm concerned that injuries might end up playing a role here and kind of hurting my depth heading into the bye weeks, especially with losing Jalen Moore. Can I trust guys like Antonio Gibson or A.J. Brown? Rome Odunze, got him on free agency, ladies and gentlemen. He ran the most routes in the NFL. The most routes in the NFL last week. Got 12 targets. Be scared, ladies and gentlemen. Next.
Number 1.
3 weeks in a row, ladies and gentlemen. I've continued to put the Cincinnati Lights at number 1. Why? Let's talk about it. So you guys know what I liked about his draft. Hero RB, Bijan Robinson. One of the best, top 3 running back in the NFL right now. Top 3, top 4, kind of, especially with fantasy purposes. Then he went wide receiver for a handful of rounds there. Picked up Malik Neighbors, stud. Malik Neighbors.
Dog.
Nico Collins.
Dog.
I love Higgins. I think Higgins will turn it around. I like it.
Dog.
Chris Olave, another absolute stud at wide receiver.
Dog.
And then Dalton Kincaid.
Dog.
Those are 5 pass catchers to get very excited about. He was able to pick up Jawan Jennings, Darnell Mooney, sneaky good. Tajay Spears and Tank Bigsby, 2 guys who are, and Rico Dowdle, 2nd on the depth chart at running back of their prospective teams. But honestly, they look good. So if one of those injuries were to happen, those guys would be studs, just absolute studs. And I wanted to go ahead and say that outside of Josh Allen, I think the best quarterback in the fantasy football, Kyler Murray, coming off a bad week against that Lions defense. But, Lions got a great defense this year. It's hard to stop them. They were down a tackle. Lions, Aiden Hutchinson, Kirby, Sub-Zero himself, Terrion Arnold. It's going to be a good year, ladies and gentlemen. We just lost Davenport, just lost Derek Barnes, but we'll be just fine. Okay, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There are your power rankings. Number 1, I didn't really mention a lot of the other changes, but the Chemist went up 2 spots. Okay, Cincinnati Lights stay in put. Stat corrections stay in put, and the Dirty Burt went up 1 spot. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. A wonderful week. We'll discuss the results of Gary against the spread on Saturday or Sunday when I get a chance to go ahead and do it. But why don't you guys have a wonderful day, and please just go yourselves. Gary the Chemist out.